Hi friends, today I am going to review the book, Power Up Your Mind. Learn Faster, Smarter by Bill Lucas. Understanding your mind. Most people know more about how their cars work than how their minds work. To improve your ability to learn, you must first understand how your mind works. The common notion of intelligence has been warped by the widespread acceptance of Alfred Binet and William Stern's IQ or intellectual quotient. IQ as a measure of intelligence places too much importance on the use of language and figures at the expense of other types of intelligence like creativity, common sense, and control of emotions. Learning to learn is learnable. Psychologists have identified at least 8 types of intelligence, and scholars like Daniel Goleman are paying more attention to new concepts like emotional intelligence. Paul MacLean has proposed that every person actually has 3 brains, rather than 1. 1. The primitive or reptilian brain, which sits at the bottom of your brain and governs your most basic survival instincts, such as the fight or flight response, blood circulation, breathing, and digestion. 1. The limbic brain, which sits like a collar on top of the reptilian brain, processes emotions, sensory input, and long-term memories. 1. Human beings share this brain with most mammals. 1. The cortex, which is the outer brain wrapped around the limbic brain, is responsible for advanced learning and higher-order thinking and functioning. Now that ideas have become the currency of success, it is even more important that we copy and learn from other people's. Whereas the theft of a thing leaves an obvious debt, the imitation of an idea simply breeds more ideas and leaves the original intact. Your brain is also divided into 2 parts that each handles different functions. Your left brain mainly handles sequential, mathematical, and logical processing, while your right brain is more creative and associative in its workings. Your left brain is more logical and rational, makes judgments, and houses your intellectual functioning. Your right side is the source of your intuition and imagination. Your right side is also characterized by playfulness and its ability to create new patterns and solutions. When your brain is under severe stress, it can only think of survival. According to one popular theory developed by Ned Herman, who worked at General Electric and applied ideas about brain functioning to the workplace, your brain can be divided into 4 quarters. People can be similarly divided into 4 groups, based upon which quarter of their brains are dominant. To ensure that your brain is powered up, you need to give it as many new experiences as possible. Herman proposes the following groups. 1. Logical, analytical, and mathematical. You are a fact-focused problem solver. 1. Imaginative, synthesizer, and artistic. You are drawn to big picture and theoretical thinking. 1. You are full of ideas and drawn to fantasy. 1. Controlled, conservative, and a planner. You are a process-focused organizer and administrator. 1. Interpersonal, emotional, musical, and spiritual. You are a good communicator, emotionally aware, and focused on your feelings. Common patterns. In evaluating theories of learning, it's important to know how these biological and functional structures translate into behavioral characteristics. Human brains share characteristics not only in the processes through which they work, but also in resultant thinking patterns. Pattern making is at the heart of your brain's filing system, its ability to make sense of what it has learned. These basic characteristics are the critical foundations to any effective learning theory. 1. The brain likes to explore and understand the world, so give your brain as many new experiences as possible, along with the time to make sense of them. 1. Your brain likes to make connections, so it will often fill in the gaps, even when it is lacking information. 1. Your brain likes to create patterns and make sense of what you have learned. 1. Your brain likes to imitate what it perceives. 1. Your brain doesn't operate under excessive stress. 1. The optimal environment for effective learning is a balance between a high challenge and low threat. Getting ready to learn. To learn effectively, you must be internally and externally ready. In other words, the things going on in your mind and the things going on around you must all be conducive to learning. Internally, you need to be motivated and curious. Brain plus personality equals mind. You must also be largely free of fear and stress. Some amount of stress in the form of a challenge often can motivate learning, but it's clear that any excessive amount of stress inhibits learning. Low self-esteem can also pose a barrier to learning. As a result, some people will need to overcome their esteem problems through methods like cognitive behavioral therapy or neuro-linguistic programming before they are able to improve their ability to learn. A model of how we learn ready, go, steady can help you transform the way you perform. Improving your ability to learn requires the acquisition of some basic skills, including 1. Resourcefulness. 2. Remembering. 3. Resilience. 4. Reflectiveness. 5. Responsiveness. These skills are combined and exploited in a process that includes 3 phases, each of which correspond to a particular mindset. 1. Ready. You must be in the right emotional state so you can start learning. 1. You must be in an environment conducive to learning and, most importantly, you must actively switch on your mind. 1. Go. Once you're ready, you'll need to be able to employ a wide range of techniques and understand how you learn and express your own creativity. 1. You also need staying power and the ability to deal with success and failure. 1. Steady. After you learn something, you must reflect on it and apply it to your own life. Spiritual intelligence is about the capacity to make meaning. It is linked to the capacity to see lives in wholes, not fragments, and to regenerate ourselves. Being optimistic contributes to learning, whereas being pessimistic will impede it. Exercising your brain improves its performance, just like any other muscle. Some scholars like Dana Zohar and Ian Marshall now contend that a sense of meaning or spiritual intelligence can improve your ability to learn. As psychologist Carl Rogers concludes, learning combines the logical and intuitive, the intellect and the feelings, the concept and the experience, the idea and the meaning. Switch on your mind. Once you understand how your mind works and have achieved a state of internal and external readiness, it's time to switch on your mind. In other words, you must actively engage your mind and prepare to act. In too many businesses, learning to learn is not rewarded. Yet, if learning is the single most potent form of competitive advance in the knowledge age, it is surely what should be measured and monitored. To do this, follow these steps. 1. Understand what motivates you among the fundamental human drives, which include curiosity, family, distress avoidance, independence, order, power, prestige, social acceptance, social contact, and spirituality. 2. Reward your own learning with extrinsic and internal rewards. 3. Use the RVPI plus M formula to increase your motivation. 3. This refers to your R, readiness to learn, V, anticipated value of the learning, P, probability of the learning being effective, I, likely impact of the learning on your life, and M, your motivation to a particular learning opportunity. 4. Get the big picture first, so you understand why you are learning. 5. Balance challenge and threat to create a high challenge, low threat environment. 6. Find places to learn that are conducive to learning, like home, work, or a library. 7. Determine how you learn best, alone or with others, through research or from a teacher. 8. Overcome any barriers to learning, including responsibilities that interfere. Learning to learn involves learning to develop the full range of your intelligence in your work and in your personal life. There are many everyday considerations that affect how well you learn. For example, getting enough water, about 8 glasses every day, and a balanced diet helps the brain function properly. Laughter, music, and adequate sleep also serve to feed the mind. Going for it. Think of learning as an active process that starts from an actual experience, followed by a learning cycle as proposed by the Swedish knowledge expert Claes Melander. This continual cycle has at its base motivation. As a result of your motivation, you acquire information, process it, and eventually experience a conclusion or aha moment, in which you convert experience and insight into knowledge. The cycle continues as you convert knowledge into skills and attitude, and finally gain feedback through which you reflect and refine what you learned, producing the motivation to learn again. The process of learning progresses through 4 steps. 1. Unconscious incompetence, you don't know what you don't know. 1. Conscious incompetence, you realize what you don't know. 1. Conscious competence. You pay attention to what you are learning and practice to gain mastery. 1. Unconscious competence, you have achieved an unconscious mastery. Your learning style is influenced by 3 main factors: where you prefer to learn, how you take in information most easily, and how you handle the information you have taken in. For example, some people are visual learners, while others rely more on sound. People can be divided into 4 categories based on the way that they process information. 1. Activists tend to act first and think later. 1. Reflectors like to absorb and think about data before making a decision. 1. Theorists like to think about things in a sequence or fit things into patterns. 1. Pragmatists Like to try out new ideas and experiment. Improving your learning ability. The first step in learning anything new is to pay careful attention and fix the information in your memory. This isn't as obvious as it sounds, because the brain works according to its own set processes. For example, the brain tends to remember the first and last things that it observes. Working with that process, it makes sense to break down large volumes of information like the content of a long meeting into a series of manageable, bite-sized chunks. This will provide more beginnings and endings for the brain to latch onto. It will also provide you with the opportunity to identify and create patterns between the information bytes, capitalizing on another natural propensity of the brain. Finally, use memory pegs like acronyms to help you recall a sequence of items. Buttress this process with the qualities of persistence, creativity, and flexibility. Maintain your persistence by adopting a spirit of adventure, keep yourself interested and focused by trying new things. By keeping yourself open to new ideas and concepts, you can bring your own creativity to bear. A sense of adventure and creativity will help to keep your brain flexible, ready to change, adapt, and learn. Takeaways. 1. Human brains like to explore and understand the world, make connections, create patterns, and imitate. 1. They don't perform well under excessive stress. 2. People have 3 brains: the reptilian brain, which handles basic functioning, the limbic brain, seat of the emotions, and the cortex, the center of higher learning. 3. The left side of the brain primarily handles logic and rational processing. The right brain primarily handles creative and associative processing. 4. Learning starts with unconscious incompetence, in which you don't know what you don't know, and evolves through several steps to unconscious competence. 5. To improve your learning, work with your brain's natural processes, like its propensity to create and identify patterns. 6. There are several techniques that you can use to prepare your mind for learning. 7. Starting with the big picture makes learning easier by providing context. 8. 5 factors contribute to effective learning: resourcefulness, remembering, resilience, reflectiveness, and responsiveness. 9. The 3 basic mindsets for learning are ready, go, and steady. 10. To memorize, fix the information in your mind, review it, and develop memory pegs. 11. Did you know that around 70% of our viewers haven't subscribed to our channel yet? If you're one of them, why not consider hitting that subscribe button? It's a great way to stay up to date with our latest videos and support our channel at the same time. 11. Join the majority of our community and subscribe today. Thanks for watching.